Before 1789, you weren't a citizen of a country. You were just a subject of whoever happened to wear the local crown. Then, the French Revolution lit a match. Suddenly, the land didn't belong to a monarch. It belonged to the people. This was the birth of the nation-state. But how do you make millions of strangers feel like one big family? You give them a shared symbol. Meet Marianne, the living embodiment of liberty, equality, and fraternity. In just a few weeks, the most powerful kings in Europe were suddenly terrified of their own streets. The revolution in France triggered a massive continental shockwave, famously called the Springtime of Peoples. It was a literal domino effect. The German states wobbled first, as citizens flooded the streets. Then, the mighty Austrian Empire, the ultimate boss of conservative Europe, started to tip over. But what did these crowds actually want? They weren't just angry, they wanted a very specific piece of paper. They demanded constitutions to legally limit the king's power and guarantee basic rights. By the 1850s, the Italian peninsula was less a country and more a jigsaw puzzle of rival kingdoms. To stitch the boot together, Italy needed three very different heroes. First was Giuseppe Mazzini, the soul of unification. He didn't have an army, but he had a vision, planting the dream of a single, free Italy in the minds of the youth. Next came Count Cavour, the brain. Operating out of the north, he was a master of geopolitical chess, securing French alliances to push the Austrian Empire out of the way. Finally, there was Giuseppe Garibaldi, the sword. Wearing his iconic red shirt, he launched a daring military campaign from the south, sweeping up the peninsula to hand a unified Italy to the king. While Italy used romance and rebellion to stitch itself together, Germany used something entirely different. At the time, the German lands were a messy puzzle of 39 independent states resting on the heavy base of Prussia. Enter Otto von Bismarck, the ruthless Prime Minister of Prussia. He looked at this fragile setup and famously declared that the great questions of the day wouldn't be settled by speeches, but by blood and iron. He wasn't bluffing. Through 3 calculated, lightning-fast wars, Bismarck hammered those scattered pieces into a single, unstoppable military powerhouse, declaring the new German Empire in 1871. But how do you make millions of peasants care about a newly drawn line on a map? You turn that abstract border into a person. In France, the nation was personified as Marianne. She wasn't a wealthy queen, but a fierce symbol of liberty, wearing the red cap of freed Roman slaves and bearing the tricolor. Across the border, Germany conjured Germania. She was a romantic warrior, crowned with oak leaves for heroism, and gripping an iron sword to defend the Rhine. These weren't just pretty statues, they were the ultimate psychological trick. Europe didn't just become a collection of states, it became a family of nations, each with citizens willing to bleed for her.